In this video, we're going to talk about argument writing and think specifically about the pieces that make it what it is. So in an argument, we have two different pieces. One is called counterclaim. The other is called claim. In counterclaim, you are addressing the other side. So I call that address the haters. So we want to make sure we understand their viewpoint before we bring the fire, which is what I call claim or argument. So those are the two things we want to keep in mind. In class, we went over these examples together and talked about how these can be used. You have these in your notebook. So you can see on this side, we have some counter arguments here. Some people believe that, while it's true that, these are going to be when you address the other side. And we will always start our argument with that first before we move into bringing the fire. So here you can see that this has the words like however, it must also be said, it's also true that. This is where you are going to put your claim. And an example down here, really silly example. Some people believe that cats are fluffy and adorable. However, they should also know that dogs are intelligent and more willing to play games with the people than cats. Really silly, I know, but that is a really good example of showing how we can use that. Another example here with our age-old debate, waffles versus pancakes. You're going to start with the other side. Although many people enjoy waffles, pancakes are the better option because they are easier to make and more fulfilling. That is a way to both address your viewpoints while saying counterclaim in red here, claim in orange. And one more, cake versus pie. While some people believe that cake is the best dessert, it must also be said that pie is the better dessert because it is healthier and offers a more variety than cake. All right, so let's think about that when we're thinking about Animal Farm. Now, depending on what class you're in, this might look a little bit different for you, but ultimately we are going to use counterclaim and claim in our thesis and then in our body paragraphs. So the thesis for this one says, although Brent faces various defining trials and tribulations, it can clearly be argued that Brent proves himself as redeemable. So first I'm going to appeal to the other side saying he's not redeemable, he can't come back from what he did, and then come in and say, actually he can be, that's going to be my claim. And the way that you can organize this, like I said, there's a couple options depending on what class you're in. You'll know which one you talked about, but you will always use counterclaim first. So for some of you, that might be a full body paragraph. For some of us, that might be a tika, but we will always say some people may believe. We'll always start with that counterclaim and write a full tika for that. And then whenever it is true for you, you will go into that claim. So for down here, like you can see, however, it clearly states that. So you'll always counter it. Counter the counterclaim, if that makes sense, with your belief. All right, guys, so hopefully this is helpful. Take a look at that practice down below. That will help you as well, and happy writing.